Hey, yo. King of the Troupe, straight out of the zoo. It's AK fucking A. PT Podcast, episode 2. I'm with
St. James, holier than now. How you doing? I'm sitting here with
YPC, aka YPC Get Money, and we also got someone else here too.
My name is Dark Daddy, number 1.
all right.
Where you been, bro?
Ayashi.
You gonna
All right, good. I was hoping you at least say one of your names.
Episode 2. Okay, well, we want to, thank you guys for checking out the first podcast. We back at it again with another one. The Troupe, your favorite Phantom Thieves. Today, I wanted to start off by talking about the stuff that's happening with the DC fandom and all of the different various announcements and how they make us feel, because, we're all nerds at heart.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to say is, what are you guys' favorite announcements?
Out of the fandom,
Have y'all been keeping up with it?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with
there
it.
was only just mainly the big 3 announcements, which was Suicide Squad, the movie, Suicide Squad, the game, and then Batman.
There was
finally
more than
got it.
that.
What else?
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, there's Gotham
I
Knights.
ain't.
And,
You're a hater. I actually really like Gotham Knights.
Well, I'm not saying it's bad, but out of the 3,
The
That's
Suicide
another-
Squad
That's
game-
very. I don't give a.
in
fuck
addition to the game that we already thought ended, and it was just, and they kind of came out and said that it wasn't a direct follow up to the game. It's just kind of like in a world similar. That's why certain characters are younger and certain things happen differently.
I don't give a F about the Suicide Squad.
yeah, I'm about to say the Gotham Knights had the most gameplay out of anything there. So really,
You gonna fuck with it?
I do like the
fuck with
Suicide Squad stuff. I think it's interesting to see where they're going with it as a franchise. I definitely think they started to lose track of where they were going, though. I feel like it was supposed to be like the antithesis of what like typical superhero teams are, and now it's just like this goofy group of dickheads.
yeah,
That's kinda what the Suicide Squad
doing
is,
wild
though.
stuff. But then like it takes away like the seriousness of these people being on death row, and like they don't even care about that anymore.
They
Like
don't.
even in the trailer, they said we're gonna make you die. Like we're gonna blow the bombs up. They said, here we go with this again, bro. Like what? Like that's wild to me. They just, kill me.
It's like CJ and Grand Theft Auto. Oh shit! Here we go again.
yeah. I feel like they're trying too hard to make the Suicide Squad like the DC version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. You know?
So that's
James.
that's a good point, because like the Guardians of the Galaxy are still regarded as a spinoff and almost sometimes as comic relief versions of the Avengers. What do you think about the DC universe as a whole, like cinematically, starting to take a step away from the Justice League?
That's cool.
I feel like I don't even remember what I was about to say. Somebody else
Well,
say something.
that Justice League movie was ass, so it's good that they taking a step away.
Well,
Yeah, it was
the
kind of
Snyder
buns.
cut coming.
I was just about to say
I'm excited
that
for
was
the
another
Snyder
thing. The trailer we got for the Snyder Cut was wild. It was actually pretty crazy, and it's going to be 4 hours of content. So it's going to be wild. We're going to get everything that he wanted us to see. So there's no like excuse for why it's not how it should be.
True, there's 4 hours of content, but then there's like, I feel like the content that they're putting is content that just should have been in the first one. You're elaborating on the scenes that we've already seen and putting them into a new, different context when we already don't really have an introduction to these versions of these characters. Like Ben Affleck, Batman, we don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if Robin alive, dead. The backstory of these characters are still so vague, besides probably Wonder Woman. She had her origin movie, but like, and the Superman is the Superman that we know from the other ones, but like, after that, like the universe as a whole, I feel like it's still a mystery, like especially when it comes to like fan favorites. Like we don't know where any of the fan favorite versions of these characters in their individual stories are.
Well, I think like one of the pluses to that is that at least with Zack Snyder, now that it is 4 hours, we're probably going to get a little bit more details and stuff like that. And kind of the plus, because this is after some of the movies that came out after Justice League. You see some like things like Aquaman leaving his spoilers who ever haven't seen the trailer. Obviously, we're talking about it. You should watch it. But there's a point where he leaves the armor and his spear down in front of Mira, and it's just kind of you can see that he's still on the fuck the throne type of wave, which kind of links to that. So we see that Zack Snyder had it's a complete thought, as opposed to a movie that a director walked away from that was then cobbled together with reshoots and stuff like that. Like, even if it's not good, at least it's like a complete thing now, and we get to see an idea of at least how one person thought how Justice League should be.
Yeah, I definitely think it's like it would be pulled off because like DC did before. Not necessarily this team, but they did it before in like the animated universe when it came to like the Justice League cartoon. Like they didn't give any backstory to any of the characters that are inside the cartoon. And you just put them in a 3-parter episode, and that shit was like perfect.
Yeah, that shit was fire. Actually,
Sometimes it's perfect if you're self-aware, though. However, they played it these being like drastically different versions of the characters that we know and love today, but they just seem the same to me. Like nothing stood out from Ben Affleck Batman going forward into like how excited I am for Robert Pattinson Batman and his interpretation of the character and the things I've seen surrounding him as a character, and not just being Robert Pattinson, the actor's version of Batman.
Yeah.
It's now like a different cinematic take on it, which I feel like is what they were missing, because it's just kind of Ben Affleck staring at the screen a lot, like doing stuff. He was like stalking people in a party, and like, but what, like that didn't really show me anything.
bro, when my man was in the corner, he was in the corner of the room, big ass his back.
I would have pooped myself.
When the dude shined the shotgun, you just see, bro. I could not. That was so funny to me.
Yeah, I feel like the issue with the Justice League movie wasn't that like it was missing stuff. I felt like it was just too safe. It was just too many of the numbers.
Yeah.
Aliens invading, they beat the aliens. Oh,
Easily.
it turns out that there's a bigger alien coming now. Like,
Now, can I say though, like as somebody who watched the original Justice League, they got their asses beat, boy. Like not even the Justice League. Like when my favorite part of the first Justice League movie was when he went to the island of the Amazons. The main villain goes, and the Amazons are like hustling to keep this man from that artifact.
They was doing
like
the most.
Like she shot an arrow with it tied to it. People are on foot booking. Like
People
it's
was
really
hopping
serious.
and grabbing arrows. Like she grabbed the rope. I said, "How you just go on?"
I definitely think that was like one of the standout points of that movie. Is just like there's certain points in the time where like it definitely felt like a desperate ass movie because like the Amazons were getting smoked. Like there was
Like, for real.
no competition about it. Like Steppenwolf was just like, all right, give me my fucking mother box, please.
yeah, and then I feel like it was just. I feel like the second that the Justice League came into the movies, with the second that the movie started getting boring, you know, and it should have been the opposite of that. Like, why was that Amazon sequence the most interesting part of this movie?
I will say that it shouldn't have been that the Superman versus the League fight was more interesting than Superman in the Justice League versus Steppenwolf, because at the end they mixed them. Like it was like that buildup was for nothing because y'all just beat them. Like it wasn't even like hard.
I feel like that's supposed to be a testament to their combined might. Like
Nah, it's a testament to Superman's might because it happened after he got there. After he got there, shit was gravy.
Superman put that man in the coffin.
Bro, he beat that man with white privilege in hand.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild. Speaking of like Superman and like characters and stuff, what do you guys think of Robert Pattinson as Batman?
I like it a lot.
He reminds me of Michael Keaton's Batman a lot.
That's the first time I heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think Robert Pattinson himself has a lot of range. From what I've seen, he kind of does embody like the more edgier, younger Batman, which what I think what they're going for. I think they said it's around like year 2 of his career. I don't see him like playing Batman outside of this trilogy though. Like I feel like it would be weird seeing him as Batman next to like Gal Gadot or something.
Gal Gadot?
Gal got it.
No, I don't know how to say it.
Man, Gal got it.
Gal got it.
Yo, if she
That sounds
started
more
like,
fire.
she started like a clothing line. Gal got it.
She gonna have bread.
Yo, she already got bread, but she gonna have even more bread. Gal Gadot with her supermodel ass. I think I definitely could see him transitioning into other media. I know that Ben Affleck has been confirmed as Batman in the Flash movie already, but I definitely could see him doing something going forward, like as he grows more into the role, which I don't even think he really needs to do. I saw a variety of movies with Robert Pattinson. He's in more than one movie that's coming out now. Like that man is
Dude's
like
got
really
range.
putting in work. Like he's trying to be Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
At this point. It's the only way I can describe it is how he's really like starting to put himself out there. And I saw the movie The King. Have any of y'all seen the movie King on Netflix?
No.
The movie King is stars Timothy Chalamet, I think is how you pronounce his name. And he's a young king that gets inducted into kinghood, even though his younger brother was the bigger pick for it. And he was like a drunk, went out partying every night, and was instantly forced to be king. And now you get to see him like deal with the pressure from other countries and the pressure of being king and he can't really cope with it because he was literally just drinking his brains out last night. And he now has to take on that responsibility after his father passes and his brother ends up dying an untimely death. And Robert Pattinson, I say this because Robert Pattinson is in this movie. Robert Pattinson is the Prince of France, and he comes to insult the King of England, like, to his face. He talked about, like, how he got a little meat, and how, like, his country is he has a country of cowards. His country is going to shit on him. There's nothing he could do about it. And just to see him go from Edward to this is such a good testament to his range that I definitely think he could do a saucy Batman.
Imagine being king. It's just like, yeah, you're dick little, bro. Now you fit to rule this country.
For real, he came. Imagine someone coming into your house and saying that to you.
Hold on now.
Actually,
if I'm king, that shit don't matter no more. I'm king. I could just like it would matter if another king said that, but not if a peasant said that to me. I'm off of you.
No, specifically, this scene was crazy because he had walked himself into the England camp alone. Like Robert Pattinson as the Prince of France is a dolo. Like. He's saying this surrounded by guards. He said, "I can't wait to see you choke on your own blood and die."
Sheesh,
like he was really wilding. Like it was genuinely interesting. And I feel like now, to get back on point, when you start to see newer actors try their hand at the role, you start to realize that maybe the unorthodox picks are what you need for this character, and that you need a breath of fresh air. Because like there's plenty of typical Bruce Waynes. Like they could have picked Josh Brolin. He'd have sauced it. But it'd have been so typical of a Bruce Wayne pick that, like, now you get to see the odd pick of Robert Pattinson with Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman as his second. Like, and get to see how that influences not only their careers, but the genre and the movie itself and the takes on these characters.
I think that just shows, like, the power of, like, not picking, like, actors as typecasted kind of people. Like,
oh, my God, that's whack.
Yeah, typecasting people is kind of corny.
It's super corny.
Well, I think with Robert Pattinson, I was saying this before. I feel like he's like, as what Tom Holland was to Spider-Man, he's that to Batman, because I could see him being the drunk playboy, looking tired as fuck, and people just kind of discounting it as this dude's depressed. He goes out and just bangs lady and enjoys being rich. And he's got the Batman voice down. He got the mask. The costume looks dope, and his car is fire. So it's just like,
yes,
there's so many moving pieces to make this scene perfect. I could see him doing this outside, and I would still be happy, even though, you know.
Can you explain deeper into the Tom Holland comparison?
Tom Holland was I feel like he was a breath of fresh air. He was good at he was equally good at both parts of being Spider-Man, just as Robert Pattinson is equally good at being both parts. Because in the past, there were like Batmans who were good at being Bruce Wayne, but not really good at being Batman. So it's like, you know, he's a good medium.
Have you ever seen Game of Thrones?
Not to a good extent, no.
There's a character in Game of Thrones called Jorah Mormont. And Jorah Mormont, the actor for him plays, the actor himself plays Bruce Wayne in a different series. And he's old. He's a much older, like
you're talking about Titans.
Bigger.
You're talking about Titans. I've seen Titans, and I've seen him in Titans.
Yeah, and you get to see that Bruce Wayne, which is a lot more fatherly and a lot more older. And I feel like to make a point, Tom Holland looked exactly like what I would really imagine Peter Parker to look like just on a pure visual aspect. And going based on what he's done before this, I could definitely see him being a pick as like Spider-Man, especially going from the previous actor's pick, but like going as Batman, especially because of how long he's been in play as a character and the various states you've seen him in and the various ages you've seen him in.
Yes.
Like, I definitely wasn't expecting going from Jorah Mormont to Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different from your comparison, but I get what you're saying otherwise.
It's a very important question. What's everyone's favorite Batman?
Robert Pattinson.
You mean like acting-wise or just?
In general.
And everyone's favorite Batman in general. Asriel. He was pretty crazy.
Yeah, are we talking like actors or like
he's talking about
Batman?
like the favorite version of Batman or anything like that. You can go actors as well because they count as Batman, you know.
I think definitely Dick Grayson Batman after the I think it was the Batman and Son or Batman R.I.P. storyline.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
Yeah,
I just felt pressure.
That was like a pretty good like couple stories.
I think my favorite Batman ties for all of the Batman in Dark Knight's Metal. I feel like the theme of that story and the way they did all of these different Batmen with different series of powers was really lit to me, especially the Flash Batman. How he ran with the bats following him. He could sick them on people. that was such a cool power to me. And I feel like if they had went different ways than some of their choices, it could have been one of the best Batman stories ever made. Actor-wise, I like Adam West because I thought he was funny. He was kind of like, he was such a serious character in like these books, and you never really saw like the Knight as a joke.
The comical guy.
You get Batman, literally the comical guy to just be punching people in the throat.
Yeah, running with oversized bombs through crowds. Move out the way!
Yeah. Like he got tights on, and I got a gun, and he just beating my ass. Like,
The shark repellent.
Yeah. Speaking of Dark Knights, I can't wait until the Batman Who Laughs gets a like live action adaptation.
I'm good.
That's gonna be crazy.
that follows into the next point. Actually, I wanted to say, what are your expectations for the future of like the DC universe and for like DC cinematic universe? I feel like is a bigger thing.
Absolutely nothing, but I hope that they like go more into like more actual movies instead of just making like quote unquote superhero movies. If that makes sense.
I same with Blake actually, and I feel like you enjoy shit better when you don't have any what's the word, expectations. When you don't have any expectations for it, you enjoy it better. I just hope DC as a whole takes chances more, because like what Jared said, they really played it safe with the first movie. And when like I know it's a contest, like we all know it's a contest between Marvel and DC, but Marvel wins when they take chances. They're the dude on Winter Soldier, the fight choreographer. That was his first time doing fight choreo for a movie. This big budget Marvel movie that played mainly into the story, and he ripped it, and he got work from that, and now there's an accolade. But with DC, there's so many stories and concepts that are like really out there compared to Marvel, like in the books, that they're just going to be scared to touch because they're like important with sales and stuff.
I feel like it's less of taking chances, more of just actually putting in the effort to make good movies. Because if you think about like all the movies that Marvel has made that really like succeeded beyond just like your standard Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers type shit, like Winter Soldier and fucking Logan, of course, like they are like movies first that involve characters that just happen to be superheroes. Like Logan was just like, yeah, I'm old, I can't really do anything, all my team members are dead, I got a fucking Alzheimer's inflicted Professor X in my basement, like, and like compared to like DC, where it's just like superheroes.
I think I get what you're saying, but I think taking effort is the wrong way to say what you're trying to say, because these movies took immense amounts of effort and millions of dollars. It's just about taking effort into, not even taking effort, I want to say. I just want to say putting care into making this stand out in different ways.
Yeah.
Like the extra care, and not even care, but like added touch to make it unique. Like just as a whole, and like making it different from the past going forward, I feel like is important.
Yeah, I feel like especially because I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a good example. We keep bringing it up, but like no one knew Guardians of the Galaxy before that movie. But still,
I did.
Well, like
the
the like general mainstream audience didn't really know them. I didn't even know them really. But like the movie itself was good, so then they became popular now. Right. I feel like DC is in a position to do that too. I feel like they're taking that right step with Black Adam. I heard they're putting the Justice Society in it.
That'd be lit.
And even just giving Black Adam his own movie, like
Wait, Black Adam's getting his own movie? I thought it was Shazam just getting his movie.
Nah,
it's not. Shazam isn't even.
It was actually announced during the DC fandom. The Rock is Black Adam.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like we need more movies. I can't see my face
right now. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, like movies that aren't just interested in an audience that isn't even their audience yet.
Right. Mm-hmm. The guaranteed audience.
So I just want to ask a general question, but what do you guys define as success?
Movie wise, music wise, just in general.
In general
concept.
Like success in an art form. Like what do you think it means to be successful?
Well, on a whole, if whatever I created got like accomplished the goal that I was shooting for, then I'm good. And that goal could be as small as making you feel something. Just in general, I won't even care. Like, well, obviously, I would care if you like something that I put my heart and soul into. But if I made you feel any type of way, I could still take some solace in that. That like my work wasn't soulless or it wasn't anything. It added to this world in some way or form. So I think that could be largely considered successful.
Yeah, that's a pretty good like
Yeah.
definition of success.
Take what I'm saying, Jamie. Damn.
For me personally, I think what determines success is leverage because I feel like that's what success is for. I feel like people worry too much about success, but what they really want is leverage because your success gives you leverage to succeed even more. If you're rich, they consider that success, but really that money is just leverage to keep doing more things that you want to do. If we make this podcast and we get a sponsor, this podcast is leverage now. We have leverage, like you need leverage in life because without it, people walk all over you and you have nothing. You can't like trade nothing of value.
This nigga Jared is evil. That was an evil
He
version.
said, well, if you sell your soul, that's leverage.
Yeah, it is leverage.
Make
Listen,
a deal with the devil. That's
why I
success.
said Jamie's version was very optimistic. I had to take a realistic approach because this world is real.
You know what? Let's take it even more realistic. My version of success is being alive to see the end result.
Oh, come on.
Let's
Wait,
take it even more realistic. My version of success.
See,
Period.
Nah, I say that because like I feel like you were saying earlier about the DC and Marvel struggle. It's really easy to be in a struggle with someone else to be at the top. But would you count that as successful? Like,
No.
would you say they're both successful, or
Oh,
would you
hell
say
yeah.
they're never successful until one of them come out on top?
No.
Are you successful as long as someone's over you?
I personally think the comic book genre of movies and the comic book world in general is just winning on a whole because now they're getting more people into it, like regardless of the type of quality of fan that you're getting. Like y'all still winning. Like y'all still winning, y'all still making money. And like Jared said, y'all still making money and having the opportunity to add on to what you want to do. So even if you fail initially, you're still getting chances to add on. Like you're not just dead in the water.
Now, see that I get what you're saying, but now you have to think of like, let's go with what Jared said again. Leverage to do bigger things and better things. Their success now means that other people's success is now diminished. Like, when was the last time you heard of a comic book publisher or creator that's not DC or Marvel? Like, or especially
Not
one that
recently.
has
I haven't heard one of recently, but I get what you mean.
especially one that has a movie, or one that has the possibilities and the opportunities that DC or Marvel has, and they're still struggling against each other for the top. Like, now, does that mean they're not successful because they're still fighting against somebody else for success? Or does that mean they are successful because they've now alienated the rest of the people trying to get there?
Yeah, do any of you guys even know who like Bloodshot is?
Oh, Bloodshot.
Yeah,
I know. I actually know who Bloodshot is. But
They just tried to launch a like separate comic distributor, Valiant. I'm pretty sure is the name. They're trying to launch their own cinematic universe, and they paid Vin Diesel big money for that. But
that was a bad
I doubt
choice.
anyone even watched that movie though.
All I gotta say is cinematic universes, unless they're like actually done right to like craft and build the world, they're very fucking corny.
Yeah, they kind of are. They're like outplayed now. Yeah.
I think they're only outplayed because of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become as a whole. Because now it's become like this big thing, like always tie back into the cinematic universe. And now it's become exclusively a different line of canon than what the actual comics were. Even though it started off as a reflection of this, it's now grown to be something different. Which real quick, to tie back into success, does that make them successful because they've started a new line, or does that make them not successful because now they've split?
Well, I was gonna say that it's also crazy because now it's just it seems like on the whole that the superheroes pursuit, like the superhero movie pursuit, is kind of just money grabby now.
Yeah.
It's not really about the fans anymore or anybody who is interested in the character. It's just more about who can we push this, who does this character relate to the most and how do we make them happy. So, I get what you mean by that.
I also want to add that I don't even think that Marvel really like the cinematic universe thing to like the best that they could possibly do. Like I feel like I don't know, like the only like real high points of it when it came were like in the latter half of it, like when it came like to Thor 3 and like what else?
That buildup was legendary though.
It was pretty crazy, but like the only ones that they really did was like Infinity War and Endgame and stuff like that. Everything else was kind of just there, and they had like a little cameo here and there. It's kind of corny.
Now you get to see like the different definitions of success, because now as dedicated comic book fans, you think of it as corny and not as successful because of the possibilities that they could have took after using the base material. But like when you look at the sales for Thor 1, Iron Man 1, the movies that you say are not as true to the ideal as the ones before them were. They were super successful. Box office wise, like money wise, engagement wise, reach wise. The later movies wouldn't be wouldn't be shit, but wouldn't be as popular if these first ones didn't reach such levels of success.
Yeah. I wasn't saying that they weren't successful. I'm just saying that, like, they just, in my opinion, I think that they didn't, like, really take the cinematic universe to the highest that it could possibly be brought into. Like, not to take anything away from those movies who kind of, like, set it up for, like, the rest of them. It's just that, like, they dropped the ball, in my eyes, like, with, like, a lot of good stuff. Like, they could have did something like, you know, the DC animated movie universe. Now, I think that was a pretty decent, like, version of a you know, connected universe when it came to movies.
I think, like, to play to what you guys are both saying, it's crazy because you're right. Those numbers definitely did happen, and they introduced you to the character more and made you even think about Thor. There wasn't hardcore Thor fans out there, but now that there was a movie coming out, it's different. But also to, like, you know, play to what you were saying, the idea of Thor was ultimately changed when a new director. Oh, you blowing my stuff right now with the gummy bears. He's pouring gummy bears into his hand, making a weird face, and expecting me to still go on with my thought. Anyway, the idea of Thor was changed when the director Taika Waititi, you know, he praised me. You know, he's pretty. Slept.
He slapped.
Oh, slapped. He slapped. Exactly. He changed. He let Chris Hemsworth add more to the character and made him more goofy and stuff like that. Gave him personality. And that's something that no writer had ever really done for Marvel. Even the people that wrote for them, like cast-wise, all in the way. So even what he added to that movie made it even bigger. So, you know, that's all. There's a lot with success. I didn't even really think about the idea of success as a concept like this until I said it.
Let's not even get it twisted. Marvel wasn't always successful. Like DC was the first one to really have poppin' superhero movies back when, like, the Superman. The first 4 movies they did, the Batman movies from back then. Yeah, it's just that they, like, lost momentum. I think after, like, what was it, like Superman Returns, that drawing, like, kind of tanked them. Yeah. But then you see Marvel come up. So I think that goes to show that, like, even though Marvel's super successful and popping now, who knows if they'll still be successful, like, 6 years from now.
That's true.
I think DC really started to lose their steam, like, when it came to, like, you know, superhero movies, when it came to, like, Batman Forever and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that kind of
the nipples.
I love Batman Forever. Don't get twisted. Batman Forever was like, that's that movie. You feel me?
The nipples.
Like, they had Jim Carrey play the Riddler. That was next level.
It was. He put us heart and soul into that performance too. I couldn't take it away from him.
So, speaking of forever, do you think success is forever? Do you think success is something that's unequivocally the end, or is it something that you have to strive to continue to achieve as a standard?
No,
I say that. I think the last one.
Yeah, you'll fall off real quick. Drake is even falling off.
Are you tripping?
Oh, see, you said it to the wrong person. You said it to the wrong person, Jerry.
No, Drake is
puts on his Drake
falling off.
Drake
sips out his Drake cup.
He about to start hooing.
To like the younger generation coming in, they don't really listen to Drake like that. So I'm saying Drake is falling off as in if I'm asking you, do you think Janet Jackson's popping? You're probably not gonna think so, but like your mom probably would. Like Drake isn't gonna have the same success. Of course, Drake is always gonna be successful because he has established himself.
I don't like how you said my mom though. Why you had to say your mom?
Because your mom's from that kind of generation.
You could have said anybody else's mom. Nah, I won't fight.
Because I know your mom personally, so if she got a problem, we would be able to talk about it.
You just challenged him out to a fight, bro. Nah, I just think it's crazy that he also compared Drake to Janet Jackson. That's kind of disrespectful a little bit.
I'm just saying, like, you know, like generational icons. Like your mom could probably name a bunch of like artists that she thinks were like super successful, but you don't know them now. And Drake's numbers are even falling off too. NBA YoungBoy will probably be doing Drake numbers. You think I'm tripping?
I don't know about that one.
All right, I don't know about Drake numbers, but like
I don't know about NBA YoungBoy.
Okay, I don't know about NBA YoungBoy, but like I'm saying, like give it like a good 3 or 4 years. Of course, Drake will always chart. Of course, Drake will always have top 100s, but like. Till like he's not gonna be as popping as he always was. Like no one can ever be popping forever.
But that's the thing. But now that things switch. This is the difference from being as popular as you once were and still being popping. Right. Drake will always be popping, which I feel like is success in its own right. Like you had a peak, absolutely. But first of all, I forgot the name of the song. I just know the lyrics.
Laugh Now, Cry Later.
Laugh Now, Cry Later is a popping song. That video is just going to get a lot of attention always. And that going forward to Certified Lover Boy, the project he's about to drop, that project's definitely going to go stupid. I know not all of his projects have had that consistent success or that consistent level of success, but they definitely have consistently had success in general. And that success is now a platform for him to build for him to build more success. Like he can definitely, now that he has succeeded, there's a possibility to go back to and possibly exceed his former level of glory.
But I also think it depends on what you're like considering success. Cause like, I don't know, there's a lot of people who kind of just don't ever truly fall off because of like the imprint that they made on like
That's true.
things in general. Like Sosa will never fall off.
I
Ever.
wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah, I feel like also something that kind of contributed to me saying like that like first statement was like success has kind of like the perception of success has kind of been twisted as time passed. We talked about this last podcast of like, you know, the next generation of like, you know, young people see things differently than we do.
Yeah.
So in their eyes, success is something different from what we see. To us, Drake will always be successful. To them, they might not see him as that same kind of successful, you know?
Like kind of how we look at like niggas like what's his name, Joe Budden, about how they're old heads, bro.
Yeah, no.
There's kids that probably
That's
think
way
that we're
different.
old heads.
Yeah.
in that sense.
One is Joe Budden. Like, not like we in Jersey, Joe Budden, you can come see me.
One song. Like one song.
Pump.
That's
I mean,
I've been off of one song.
Besides,
That's
like Janet,
different.
even the earlier comparison of Janet Jackson, she was definitely a poppin' artist of her time, and she definitely will forever have that level of success. But Drake is much different because he's still consistent. He's still going, and even though
Are you
he might
saying
not
Janet
take,
Jackson isn't consistent?
no,
she's not.
But
especially when it comes to like charts and like oh no, you trip. What's up?
Janet Jackson is definitely consistent.
No,
She's just-
I'm sorry I cut off your argument. Like your argument just started off wrong because you said yeah, Janet Jackson is as successful as Drake, but Drake is more consistent.
No. I said she's not as successful as Drake because Drake's more consistent.
Is she not as successful as Drake?
I don't think so.
You don't
Personally,
think so?
no, absolutely not.
That's
Janet Jackson and Drake.
Put down your Drake cup and your Drake hat,
Nah,
your Drake
bro.
slippers.
Nah,
Like,
bro. I
Why?
definitely think, but it's also different because her success is now attributed to her being surrounded by other famous relatives. Like, if Michael Jackson wasn't as poppin', Janet Jackson would not be popping right.
But
Like,
Michael
tripping.
Jackson had
Hold on,
many
let-
other
tripping.
siblings. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep going on to that because I
This
feel
is
like
heated.
Isaiah, you're someone who I know who makes very good arguments, but this one
Yo,
argument
like,
is very weak.
my
Because-
point is,
No, because like
weak.
you kind of proved what I said before. Each generation sees success differently. Because if you ask your mom who's more successful, Janet Jackson or Drake, she's gonna say Janet Jackson.
But then boom, that's my rebuttal. Your success is also dependent on the populace and the way it's
Yeah.
received at that time.
Yeah, that's
and the way
definitely
it's
what I was
received
saying.
going forward.
Yeah.
Drake has had, in my opinion, right? More consistent success of the populace. More people are Drake stans than Janet Jackson stans. Period. You tripping. You're tripping.
Hold on.
Around the
Hold
world,
on.
Wait.
Around the world?
Around the world.
I need to
around
back
the world,
up.
Miss Jackson got him.
Listen,
him.
Janet Jackson and Drake.
Rhythm
You're tripping.
Nation was a thing
Bro,
at one point.
What I'm trying to say is you can't compare success from different generational values. Like is like even the fact of trying to compare Janet Jackson and Drake together is dumb, and that's the whole point. Like we can't success cannot be considered the same by like the same caliber throughout the years. Like it has to evolve.
Like Drake, besides the fact that Drake has hit records of selling records alone multiple times, without any, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Without any accompanying act. When you think of Janet Jackson, you think of Michael Jackson. No, you're tripping. But I'm not defaming Janet Jackson, even though I personally am not a big Janet Jackson fan. I'm not saying she's not famous. I'm not saying she's not super famous. But Drake is literally, arguably, the #1 artist in the world right now. And has been for a minute. And is definitely going to go down the Hall of Fame as greatest rappers of all time. Janet Jackson does not reach these accolades, period.
I don't really care about that. All I really wanted to touch upon is the fact that Janet Jackson is very important, and she's also her success, in my personal opinion, isn't tied to Michael Jackson at all because she didn't start making music with Michael Jackson so far after into his career, and even then she only had like maybe a handful of songs with him at all.
I'm not saying, to just quick rebuttal, I'm not saying that she's famous because of Michael Jackson, nor am I saying that she owes her fame to him. I'm just saying because of their relation and they have the same last name and are known siblings, that she'll always have an additional like boost of fame because of this. Like it's always gonna be additional like DLC pack because she's Michael Jackson's sister. Like you'll always be Mike's sister, and Mike is arguably the number one artist of all time. His level of fame reaches places that Drake's definitely does not. Like Michael Jackson's definitely a bigger artist than Drake, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But like she's always going to have, like if my brother is the biggest artist of all time, I'm automatically gonna get an extra boost of fame and of success because of his success. You're tripping if you think otherwise.
Drake got shot
You
in
might
the
get the
grassy.
opportunity for a platform.
No,
That
but
doesn't mean that
the-
you're going to get the
besides,
added weight, because there are other artists who are related to famous artists and other ones that were put on by other artists. But just because of that fact, or just because they still remain in contact with them, it doesn't mean I'm automatically think of them. Like, because I feel like even though I'm not really a big Janet Jackson fan like that, I feel like she did do her part to stand out from the family, because like she did a lot more. She did things by herself. And it's not like Michael Jackson doesn't immediately ring to my ear when I think of Janet Jackson. It might when I think about like how she still feels, but it's not like I see her on the song and I'm thinking like, I'm gonna support it because that's Michael Jackson's little sister. I'm gonna support it because it's Janet Jackson,
no,
not the other way around.
I'm not saying that people will support her because of Mike. I'm saying you get additional eyes, ears, and listeners and engagement and fame because of this. Because now I don't think of Mike and I don't listen to Mike and think, let me listen to Janet. But if you listen to Mike and you know his sister is an artist, you're more inclined to listen to Janet Jackson because of Michael Jackson. Period.
Okay,
Fact.
but overall, do you still think Drake will be doing the same numbers, the same kind of success, like 6 years from now that he has now?
Personally,
That was basically my whole argument with like the success does last forever if your leverage is so high that it never runs out. But like Drake is successful now, and he'll always be successful, but after a certain while, your like limelight kind of like dies out a little bit. And the same thing happened with Janet Jackson. I'm pretty sure if this was whatever, I think like the 1980s she was around.
What? No.
1990s. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know anything about Janet Jackson, which is why I'm saying like,
Janet Jackson.
This is-
Right?
this is
why I was like,
obviously apparent.
It
All of us,
goes
though.
deeper than the two artists I'm comparing. But like, if it was 1980s and I said Janet Jackson gonna fall off in 6 years, if you were from like, you would probably you
see
would
Isaiah with the
argue.
Jerry
This would be the same
curls.
argument.
It'd be the
you
same
saying?
argument.
Same argument. You'd be like Janet Jackson falling off. Nah, bro, you tripping.
That's not what I sound like
Hold up.
now at all.
No, but Jared's face was hilarious.
Wait, no, that's fair. But did you hear what he said? Janet Jackson's falling off? Nah, fo, you tripping. What? I'm apparently like a gangbanger
I'm
from
not gonna-
from a state
jab,
that's not
Jay.
this
I'm
one.
not going to assume Janet Jackson's demographic. Okay.
Good point. I know it's definitely somebody in Atlanta with a glizzy right now bagging up coke listening to Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
Shout out to you, Lontavius.
But to answer your question, because we got really off topic.
Yeah, we did.
Because you said something
Yeah.
about his Lord and Savior, Six God. That's why when you said that, I said
Six,
you said
six,
that.
six.
I said you said this to the wrong person. I don't know why you said that.
Listen,
I don't even know why you added in Drake. When you said that, I'm like, he's gonna argue tooth and nail now.
I said Drake because Drake is the most successful person right now. Drake is someone who you would never imagine becoming irrelevant. But that's the thing. These people who are super successful, everyone loses success after a while. Like your success definitely diminishes.
I think it's kind of highly situational because of what Oz said in the beginning, where he was like is success kind of determined by how you strive for it and how long you strive for it and stuff like that. And I feel like the only time someone's like career isn't successful if they aren't still striving for it is if they're in situations where they can't strive for it. Because Michael Jackson, this man was working through all of this stuff, being having all these allegations thrown at him, right or wrong, like all these allegations thrown at him, and he's still making music that is just like
His music's still
worldly
in, like,
positive.
the top 200. So I think that's the deciding factor. Do you think Drake's music will still be in the top 200 in 2026?
maybe,
In
honestly,
2026?
maybe.
Yes, maybe. It depends on him personally, honestly. It depends on his drive and depending on how long he wants to be successful or what his idea of success is. Because at this point, if he retired tomorrow after this project, I wouldn't be surprised. He's done it. He's definitely put enough work in. He's definitely done enough for me to think he's commercially successful and the rest of his life is going to be easy, regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but just
You're a
to
hater, bro.
ask the less question, I just want to say, what would success be to you guys? Like, to you individually, what would you consider success in your life and in your line of work?
To imprint my swag on everyone else in the world.
That's hard.
That is kind of hard.
He said that much
hard.
more metaphysically and he was too ready, too quick. I'm like, damn. He said, imprint my swag. People still say
He
swag.
said he gonna put his DNA in everyone.
All right,
Genghis
Genghis.
Khan with this shit.
Gang.
My goal, my definition of success is to Genghis Khan my way into the billboards. James Valor.
I think for that it depends because you said in my field and in my field is music and it's like it depends on what you go to that field for. And for me personally, I listen to a lot of music that I can empathetically link with or just vibe with in general. And I think for success, what success would be for me is if I made one of those songs that someone was listening to and they was just either getting emotional about it or just, like I said earlier, just connecting with it and thinking like, damn, it's crazy how much detail he put into this thought. Like it sounds like he's speaking to me. And I think I would, like number wise, whatever, I think if I just had that moment or if someone told me they had that moment listening to something that I wrote, I would feel like I was successful.
So it's safe to say if Blake's is to imprint his swag on the world, yours is to imprint your emotion and your current state of mind, and to have each person have an individual relationship with you as an artist.
Yeah, more simply is like if I give the world a hug, basically, I'm here for you.
Somebody
I'm here for you,
imprint
world.
swag. We other people giving hugs. What about you, YPC?
For me, it's definitely being able to put other people on because if I'm able to spread success, I feel like that's successful in itself because I feel like just having success for yourself is just one thing. If you have so much success and leverage that you can expend and give it out to other people who are less fortunate to leverage themselves up, I feel like that's like a real like boss move, you know?
Hove.
Yeah, that's something like Jay-Z, Kanye West stuff.
That's
you know?
crazy.
I don't know about Kanye though, but Hove.
Kanye put on a lot of people. Kanye put on Travis. What are you talking about?
Nah, I just don't want. I don't want to support him.
Hey,
But we can go into a whole nother
you got his haircut.
argument.
Hey, I like Kanye. It just right now I don't want to support.
But you got his haircut.
Shut up. This wasn't because of Ye.
You got
This
the
was more because of
walks.
Frank. This was more because of Frank. What? He wasn't blind with Jesus walk.
I know, I'm joking. I just wanted to say
But
these
like,
walks.
I feel like for me, it also applies beyond music. Like, even like professionally, if I'm like in a point in my career where I could get you a job that pays well, knowing that I'm able to put like food on your table, I'm giving you the opportunity to boss up and maybe do that for someone else too. I feel like it just like spreads positivity, which is something that doesn't happen a lot nowadays.
Damn, my joint feels selfish as hell now.
Be selfish, bro.
My idea of success personally is to be able to, as an artist, and not even as purely as like a rapper or as a vocalist or as a producer, like just as an artist, to be able to reach the heights of where I'm at and to be able to do what I'm doing at a high level with whoever I want to, however I want to. I want to be able to go to Atlanta, hit up Future and be like, yo, you want to hop on a song? Like now to bring possible dream collaborations and to get my art to the point where I have to worry about nothing else but creating. Where I can leisurely make the best work I choose to make without having to worry about bills or worrying about life status or worrying about things that are about what level of success this is going to be or worrying about adhering to commercial standards. Being able to be unapologetically me as an artist and to still get the level of opportunities to create and perform and do as much as I want to do as an artist without having to worry about it being out of my realm of reach.
And it's gonna be hard to get to that point without like selling out, you know.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yo, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I told you my favorite rapper, Drake, bro. You know what it is.
That's wild.
This man already signed.
He about to be
industry
Mace, bro.
plan.
I'm like, what you get for your deal? Oh, I gave that money. So
I feel like we should move on to another topic of if assassins have to be stealthy.
Yo,
Yo,
course.
my boy.
what? Please don't do this to me right now, bro.
right.
Wait, pause,
I mean, he's
pause. Before you say that, Jared is baiting you into this because in middle school, me and him had an argument. We was ready to fight after 30 minutes of if assassins had to be stealthy or not. And he keeps bringing this up to make me mad because he knows where I stand on it.
Where do you stand on it?
I stand on it that yes, assassins have to be stealthy because or else they're
Where do you
mercenaries.
stand
I
on
feel
it?
like they don't have to be.
Why?
Because as long as I kill him, I assassinated him.
Pause. As long as you killed him, you murdered him. You didn't assassinate him. But we're not going to get into that because I'm not going to start talking about this. Skirt, reverse. Shut it up. Like I was about to say, I just want to talk about collaboration. And I just wanted to think, what do you think collaboration does for an artist, especially when it comes to success and staying fresh and creativity?
I think collaboration, it depends. Because, like, a lot of times in collaboration, I know, especially as me as an artist, I want to collab with people who, you know, I look up to. But there's also a lot of times where you're collabing with people so you can bridge into their audience, you know?
I feel like a good example of that, not even just purely on music collabs. Earlier, James was talking about the Taika Waititi and what's the actor's name?
Chris Hemsworth. And I feel like that's a collaboration. Yeah.
Like examples of people working together in different fields or even in the same field, coming together to create something bigger is always going to be a breath of fresh air and productivity. And I guess almost like a proof of success.
Mm-hmm.
Like bringing two levels of success together. Like collaborations you're either more than the sum of both parts or you are a letdown at this point, honestly.
I feel like collaborations can do a lot for an artist, even when it's like collaborations of verses or something like that. Or like even
like the Instagram thing is what you're talking about.
Instagram thing, or like beefing. I feel like beefing to an extent can be considered collaboration because these, like some of these artists just piece it up later on, but they still have all that attention that they garnered from that beef. Just like how a collaboration can make you listen to somebody more, like, you know, with your fans and stuff. And just like collaborations on a whole are just a mingling of minds, and there's something that's rare because like you're not gonna think. I can't think like Jared. I can't think like Oz. So if we work on a song together, and I say like, "Yo, help me with this verse," or we're doing a song, and it's just like, because you know songs are more like narratives. That narrative is gonna be different than if I did it alone. So it's just like collaborations could do a lot and bring a lot out of an individual artist and like, you know, person and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that collaborations are purely business, even in the creative field, because you're using someone else's creativity to boost up your business. A lot of artists get their first top 20s, top 10s through collaborations. Someone who I think treats collaborations very well is Trippie Redd. He's actually a very professional person. He even beefed with XXX because he was still doing collaborations with people that X didn't like. But you know what? I feel like that was okay for Trippie to do that because he was about his business and it paid off, you know?
All I gotta say about Trippie Redd is big ugly clown.
Wow.
But yeah,
Look at me, Arnold.
But yeah, Trippie just I don't know if y'all saw, he was beefing with KSI, but like
What?
he collabed with KSI and he got his first top 10 in the UK. He would I'm not saying he wouldn't have done that without KSI, but he did it with KSI. And it doesn't matter that they don't like each other. He still gets that check at the end of the day.
Yeah, we still both can eat. We still both eat. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, do you think that collaborations discredit independent skill? Because like you have situations like where J. Cole dropped the album with no features and people to this day still talk about this and use that almost as fuel for the topic of J. Cole's the greatest rapper ever because he didn't need anybody else to succeed. Like
that
does that mean collaboration is less so is the easier way to go in you guys' opinion, or is it more so like a equal standpoint and should be treated as such?
It depends, because collaboration can also just be used as like a way to gain learning experience. Like, you know, like say if you never like did a certain thing with a person before, or like back in the day, like that's why people got really good really fast, and like a lot of jazz bands and stuff like that, because like jazz bands, like they just, like people just play instruments with each other for no reason. Like, you know, let's just jam out. Like
you learn new stuff just by being around somebody that's doing the same thing.
Yeah, by osmosis.
Right. And I'm sorry, repeat your question again because I was listening to Blake and I forgot what I was going to say.
I was saying, does collaboration discredit individual success and skill, in your opinion?
You know, it's funny because you said that, and I'm definitely one of those people that's like, J. Cole had no features. And obviously, when you're writing a song, if like part of the legwork is obviously finishing the song. So you could say that someone hopping on the track is helping you out and like such and stuff like that. But I definitely do feel like as someone, if you're either contributing a feature, say you're contributing a feature, I feel like it is an art to itself to give a feature that does help. Because there are so many times where there's a feature that added a little bit or was just kind of mid, and then you hear like a feature that made a song. Or on the flip side of that, sometimes some of these rappers aren't like, I don't know if y'all feel this way, but sometimes they aren't as good as like if they're like almost competing with somebody on a song. Because sometimes that person being on the song just makes you go that much harder because you're like, I'm not going to get watched by this person. Mm-hmm. So it's just like,
I think it like the reason why that happens is like it helps you see like the contrast about what you could possibly do, and like it just gives you more of a like starting point.
I feel like I'm not a fan of this argument because I think it's pretty redundant for two reasons. One, I feel like not having features isn't something to brag about. That's just like something an artist should be able to do regardless. Like if you can't make songs by yourself, how are you an artist? And depending on features is actually a liability. Just look at Rich the Kid's career. I don't even need to explain it. I don't need to explain it. Rich the Kid's album is like he probably has like 2 solo songs on his album. His albums are full of features, and the problem with that is that no one likes Rich the Kid. They only listen for the features, and even then they barely listen. So like J. Cole,
Rich the Kid.
I like Rich the Kid.
No, I have major respect for Rich the Kid.
I don't.
He was able to start a movement, but like he's not consistent because I feel like he depends too much on features. But J. Cole now has that confidence in that like ability to handle himself. He don't have to depend on anyone else. Also because the second fact is, again, I think that features are just purely business, and if you know that this feature is going to make your album sell better, why wouldn't you put it on there? You know.
Now I do think features are, and collaboration in a sense is business, especially when you get to a certain level of success. To tie back into the second topic, because especially like when you look at people like, I would say like J. Cole, like or Drake, like just to see, or actually perfect example, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has his cousin Baby Keem, and I really like him as an artist. But now, because of they haven't even really done major collaborations, and he's so far gotten to the level of success where he's at now, in a large part outside of Kendrick's help. And if this was vice versa, let's say Baby Keem never made a song before. His first song he made was with Kendrick. He would much easier have gotten to the point where he's at now, because now you get to share a part of your success and your fan base. And potential revenue, like you're potentially giving this man a check. Like if Drake gave me a song right now, I'm gonna blow tomorrow. Like it's Drake.
But that's also dangerous because you could end up like Block Boy JB. And
oh my God, the shot!
That's what I'm saying. Like
I just heard a Block Boy JB song.
No, he's not popping. That's what I'm saying. These features, I feel like features are like more like dangerous than anything. I feel like not having features isn't really something to flex.
But you also got to consider, like, it's not, at least in my perspective, I don't feel like it's strictly a business standpoint, because, like, a lot of times when I get features or artists or do collaborations with people, it's not even for, like, the money or anything like that. It's literally just to make perfect art.
Yeah.
But then you also
respect that.
I feel like that also brings into the argument, like, collaborations versus assistance. Mm-hmm. Because these people might assist you with this song, but collaboration is only between peers. And if we're not peers, we're not collaborating. I'm essentially assisting you.
What do you define as peers?
Peers as in like similar levels of, I guess, success, and skill and artistry.
Yeah.
Just as a whole, like, because I feel like that's what makes us as the Phantom Troupe so good, because we're not all at varying different levels of skill, even though we might be at smaller and higher levels, like by small margins, but as a whole, we're coming up together. Yeah. We're groups together. We're skillful together. We improve together. So now when you have people who are your peers, who you collaborate with, it becomes a lot more genuine and a lot more even, rather than me just like bombing on this song and then you drop this dookery.
Yeah, like you definitely need you definitely need to open yourself up for collaboration because you can't just be in a like echo chamber, or else you're never gonna grow as like an artist.
That's very true.
I also think that like you get to a limit independently. Like there's collaborations are an easy way to make things up, like to give a breath of fresh air, not only to your career, but to the art you're making. And that's for anybody, for artists. Like it's easy to stylistically get caught up in yourself and to get caught up in the person and the persona that you're trying to be, and to bring someone else into that and expand almost your universe is always going to be a benefit rather than a detriment unless they bring you down to their level.
I like to play devil's advocate, as I like to do a lot. A good example of like that whole thing of if someone could do like, well, first off, I think what Jared was saying was right, and I think just to sum up the argument, I think it's more of it like the statement of he did it with no features is more a statement of this like this guy can swim, like he's without a feature he's still good, but with an example of the opposite would be like with Kyle. Kyle released his sophomore album, and it wasn't really that good. It was like in my opinion, it wasn't really that good, and it was kind of really different from his sound, like from his original sound. But then he released an album after that where he had some samples on there, and it was with I think two of the samples I know for sure was K Camp. I think that's how you say his name, right?
It's K Camp, bro. How else would you say K Camp?
I mean, it could have been a funny way of saying Camp. I don't know.
Bro, come on.
It's like a Dragon Ball Z.
It's like saying G Food. Is that a Jaffa day? Nah, bro. Come on now. K
It's
Camp.
not French.
Look, bro, I pronounce things wrong all the time. I just be getting anxious. And he did one with Rico Nasty, two very fun artists, and I feel like that kind of awakened his kid side, the Kyle that was having fun with music beforehand, and it made me feel a lot better about that project, like that he did, with the features and stuff like that.
So since we're playing devil's advocate, I actually didn't like that project.
Okay, that's good.
I also didn't like. I like the songs with Rico Nasty. That's actually my favorite of the songs. But she kind of like, I feel like her the things that she brought to the table were typical Rico Nasty things.
Oh yeah,
like these people are just themselves on these songs. It's less collaboration and more assistance. A good example of this is IDK and Friends. JIDK, formerly now IDK, dropped a project recently with every song is a collaboration. And now you get to see him put himself into the tank with them and come out with something completely unique for both artists, rather than just letting me throw, like, let's say I put Sasson on every sandwich I make. You put salt and pepper on every sandwich you make. If we put salt, pepper, and Sasson on something, you'll come up with something completely new instead of it just tasting like salt, pepper, and Sasson.
I feel like
it's about the elements long story short, it's about the elements that you bring to the table that make a collaboration what it is. And sometimes people don't bring those elements, which doesn't bring the fullest out of that collaboration. And I'm trying to say this because I feel like Rico Nasty and Kyle was a good example of that. Because I feel like they definitely could have been more than the sum of both parts if they tried something new for both of them. But they went the typical Kyle fun song route, and I didn't really like it as much.
I feel like if you're doing a feature, you should be able to like adapt to each other's style. Otherwise, like you say, it should just be a Kyle song. Like if it was going to be Kyle and Rico Nasty, it should feel like a combination of both of their sounds. It shouldn't just sound like Rico Nasty rapping on a Kyle beat. It should sound like both of them collaborating, like for real. And on the IDK and Friends, his song with Zaman, it was fire because he went on a Zaman beat, IDK, and IDK did a Zaman flow, and it was heat. It was fire,
I just want to talk about this song. Oz put me onto this song too. The song with Lil Dicky and Game. What was it called?
How Can You Sleep?
Bro, the first verse, typical Dicky verse, clever, light shit. Game comes on, starts spinning that raw shit, and then Dicky comes back with a new aggression and starts hitting you with the crazy wordplay. Yeah. I was just like, you know what? That's wild.
That's what I'm saying.
And now you get to see, like, when put through that scope and put through that lens of aggression, how differently you get to view Lil Dicky. Because Lil Dicky, for a large part of his career to this day, is a joke rapper. Like, he has a bunch of serious songs and he has serious moments, but he lets that joke rapper title define him in ways that I personally think limit him limit him in artistry. And now when you get to see him with Game, he kind of like really get to talk his shit and really get into his bag and really get to feel his confidence and bring that into rapping, which benefits largely from these traits. Like, you get to see how much it benefits him in this song and in general.
I just wanted to add on that, yeah, Lil Dicky definitely, like, in my eyes, definitely solidified himself as a joke rapper because I definitely don't take Lil Dicky serious ever at all.
I feel like
It's funny.
I feel like he did that on purpose, and I don't know why.
It's a
Probably for
it's a brilliant.
longevity.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a brilliant marketing move. Everybody loves someone that's funny. Just
Yeah.
as a whole.
But then it's also bad because then no one can like take you serious. You
But
know?
it
he's
don't
also
matter. The
used to
money
being
series.
funny though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The
That money series, bro.
Yeah,
His
you're right.
his persona is gonna. He's always gonna be the non-violent, like not to be
Yeah.
racist, the non-violent white guy. And he's just
Everyone loves a funny white guy.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
And yeah,
I was gonna say basically, but don't say
Um,
that.
yeah. I feel like Dickie actually probably doesn't care because he has that TV deal. He's
Oh
got
yeah.
season
As
2
long
and
as he's
stuff.
doing good
Yeah.
on that, he's still got it rolling in too.
Is that show
Yeah.
actually any good?
It
Yeah,
is.
It's actually
It's
really
decent.
hilarious.
I think, but then he was also used to be a TV writer. Like this is definitely his ballpark.
Mhm.
Like he already felt comfortable in this area and just said, "Let's go full force." 'Cause I just want to ask another question of like, who do you think are some of your favorite dream collaborators? Like, who are some of your favorite artists and creators that you would like to see work together and come out with something crazy?
Just to clarify on the question, are you asking who, like, what would be our dream collaboration, or who are just our dream collaborators as of now? Like, who makes stuff that we think is really cool?
Like, who are two standout artists in fields that you would like to see collaborate with each other?
okay,
I want to ask your dream collaboration with you personally too, but that's the next question.
all right.
It's a hard one.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
hard.
I think for me, I would really love to see a Frank Ocean and Solange collaboration.
Oh
I
my
think
god!
I think
Oh
that
my
song is
god!
beautiful.
Oh, speaking of, I actually would really like to see a Brent Fayez Giveon collaboration.
That
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be.
You tripping?
I feel like Giveon would. I mean, Brent got him on the pen game, but Giveon, man, it's just
His
his
voice
voice.
is
It's his voice, bro. I don't know what it is.
For like the longest time, I thought that Giveon was like just like Sampha. I didn't know he was like actually
Sampha and Giveon would be fire too.
that would
what are
be.
you
I
talking
don't know.
about?
That'd be wild.
This isn't like a dream collaboration of mine, but it's just a question. Has Kendrick and Travis Scott ever done a song together?
Yeah, they did.
Was it good?
What song?
It
That's
was,
up to you.
but Kendrick reused his verse from that Rich the Kid new Freezer song for some reason.
That's
I don't know
disappointing.
why.
Ooh.
I was kind of confused.
On that tip, I feel like if there's a song on before the rodeo called Backyard. I feel like Kendrick Lamar would have went stupid on that beat, and Travis does a very Kendrick like flow on the beat, so it's just kind of like it would have been perfect.
Before the rodeo, definitely, in my opinion, kind of was like Travis Scott's peak as an actual rapper. He evolved as an artist, but as like a lyricist, that was like kind of his peak in my opinion.
I can see that he was definitely spin harder, and like as time went on, he definitely put more into his like approach.
I also think like I don't know. I didn't hear that song honestly. I was trying to say something smart, but I didn't really care about New Freezer or Rich the Kid. Jared pretty much summarized my feelings on him.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I don't know. I feel like that's also what makes collaborations important is because them being between two people that you know and care about, and it being two established artists, and having yourself be an established artist and have an established persona and something to add to this collaboration, rather than like me collaborating with my niece and she do some bullshit. Like you could very well just collaborate whatever you want. I could tell the pizza guy
Yeah.
spit a 16,
And-
but it's not really going to be much.
You don't know that.
I
You don't know
It'd
that,
be
bro.
crazy. He
He
said,
gonna
I'm
put that
ready for
piece
real.
of-
Gripping the steel. I'd have been like, oh.
Yeah, I feel like anyone could collaborate together. Future and a Khalid made a song together. It was decent.
But they're also self-aware as artists. And they're also artists who have identities solidified. You have to have an artistry set to collaborate. Like, before you know who you are, how are you going to tell other people who I am?
I feel that completely.
That was a little too deep, but, you know, it is what it is.
Self-awareness when it comes to music is a very strange thing. Because I feel like if you become self-aware in yourself, a lot of times you can also like get trapped into living as a persona or as how people see who you are.
A lot of people I know need to definitely get out that trap. Be self-aware that you're making that bullshit.
I'm getting better. Shut
Yeah,
up.
that way you don't like get poisoned by ear corruption.
Or just be like oblivious to how kind of silly you look. I think there's also that.
Very
So
true.
I feel like at like what point do you tell your homeboy to just stop rapping?
When he spends 30 minutes trying to record 8 bars.
That's
yeah, I
wild.
feel like the
So to get back on topic, what I was gonna say was because we went past. I don't know about dream collaboration, but I know that Well, one, I wasn't expecting that young thug and
I mean,
huh?
I thought you were gonna say Young Thug and Amine.
Nah, actually that song was fire. But I didn't expect less from that. I wasn't expecting the Chris Brown and Young Thug album to work as well as
Slapping
it
beat?
did. That shit slapped, and I was like, oh, okay. And two, I feel like speaking of Chris Brown, I feel like him and T-Pain need to come together to do an album because each song they did together was crazy, and I just feel like now they need to strike while the iron is hot. I mean, Chris Brown is hot right now. T-Pain's always going to be eating on for producing, so I just feel like it's even if they weren't on the song together, I just feel like there will be some songs. There's to be some beats that Chris Brown will really fuck with because they've worked together, and T-Pain's a cool ass dude. He needs some money.
I think speaking of producing, a lot more producer-artist collabs should happen. Like, I think, like...
Yeah. It actually now, like labels... Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, labels are kind of like shopping around producers as like assets for artists. Like Jetson Made and Playboy Cardi, like the labels set that up for them,
It's crazy because Jetson Made is not a thing anymore.
He's not a thing anymore, but like at the time they were kind of like Jetson Made was like popping, so they kind of like paired them together to try and get Cardi a new single. I feel like we're going to kind of see that more producers putting on the artist, kind of like.
I disagree that Jetson Made is not a thing anymore. He just had a very popular song with Jack Harlow and a couple popular songs with Lil Yachty. He might not be a thing with Lil Uzi, but
You also got to consider the fact that when those songs are made, because Jetson Made literally was leaking all of Cardi's songs.
Yeah,
he was just in the What's Poppin' remix video.
He was, but
with Lil Wayne.
Like from this point forward, he kind of like damaged his like business reputation. That's kind of like insider stuff. Like people.
Are you saying he fucked up his career because of this move?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That would be more understandable.
He just made a really bad career move.
He's definitely probably blackballed in a lot of places right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you meant.
So who would you guys say would be your dream collaborator as an artist? Like who, if you could pick anyone right now that you could make a song with, who would it be? Producer or artist wise? What?
Black Cray.
I don't know who that is.
Sorry.
So Black Cray kind of like started that like Lil Peep and Lil Tracy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like
Uzi.
and Uzi and he kind of like one like the forefathers.
Oh, you was talking about him when you was talking about Uzi that one time.
Probably.
Okay. Mine is a given. Like I take a lot of inspiration from Frank Ocean, and I would love to.
Wait, you're not Frank Ocean?
Okay. Anyway, so I would love to create with him and have something like that. Should be wild.
I would definitely love to go bar to bar with Earl Sweatshirt.
That's trippy.
Yeah.
That's trippy.
That'd actually be another dream collab with me too.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Someone said that Earl's
I love the
systematically. Go ahead.
My bad, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say someone has said that Earl systematically ruined his career on purpose, and I didn't get it, and I didn't look into it. But I was about to say something.
That's the end of that sentence you were saying?
Yeah, no, I didn't look into it because I didn't want to know if it was true or not because I haven't heard a lot of.
He
Earl
didn't like
songs.
he just chose his lane and just like wrote it.
Okay, that's more understandable.
I feel like collaboration wise, production wise, I think me and Kenny Beats would do a lot of good work together.
Boy,
I think I saw
Kenny Beats to anybody, bro.
All right, bro.
I don't know about
Wow,
anybody.
thanks. I was just trying to say I got good bars, he got good beats. You said, yeah, but anybody though.
I mean, Kenny Beats is a pretty good producer, bro.
Nah, bro, don't talk to me. I also would love to collaborate with Mike. I think me and him would do a lot of good work together. Maybe me and Bob in this, but that man too famous for me.
He is. Don't talk about him.
Yo, low key, like I say this to myself all the time, but like I think me and DaBaby would have some crazy music to drop.
I feel like your music is very like punchline heavy, just like the baby's is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, me and DaBaby would be spazzing.
For real. And you be saying violent shit too.
Oh, and I'm gonna just use that as an excuse to say whatever I want. Shot him in the aisle over Legos.
It were Legos made them fall like bricks.
What? Exactly.
Okay.
Get it.
Pick up and hit it. I'm gonna hit a lick. Like we could have. What?
If we doing second collabs, I would also like to collab with Joji, just because I feel like he like pop wise, he's a genius, man. Because he keep making these hits that just stick in your head.
What hits has he made recently?
Dancing in the Dark, Sanctuary, This
Ryan-
song that I'm listening to now, that song that Jared made,
Yeah.
the song that I'm thinking about is Daylight. That's another song that I heard by him. And I feel like if I hear your song and it's just stuck in my head, like I feel like that's a good song. Even if it was like on some BS, like I can't not acknowledge the point that is catchy at least.
Speaking of being stuck in your head and being a good song, I think Jared would do a lot of good work with Cochise.
Cool.
Personally.
I feel like Coach Cheese basically did what I was attempted to do from like 2017 to like
Oh, yeah.
2018.
Oh,
Mhm.
He pretty much just like
What, at home
ripped
play
that.
with Cardi?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I
Ooh.
feel like when I was young, like me first started rapping, I feel like that's Chef G now. If I would have stuck with the streetness, I'd be with Sleepy Hollow somewhere.
I was just about to say, I feel like if you collab with Sleepy Hollow, that shit would be crazy hard.
Oh my God.
This ain't a regular
Oh,
pole.
I
regular pole.
have a really good question. What female artist would you guys want to collaborate with?
I already got my answer.
That would collaborate with a female artist. That's why. Who would you say?
Tiana Taylor. She's really versatile.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I would have to say that too.
Her or Tori Kelly, because she's also she's not. I mean, she's versatile, but it seems more like she does the best of a lot of genres as more of her fitting a lane. Tiana Taylor has a style, and it's just she's also very skilled. Like,
Yo, can I say this and y'all not get mad at me?
okay,
Tiana Taylor looked like a Geo dude to me, and I can't get that out of my head.
I don't think she's attractive at all, bro. I think she looks like one of the worm aliens from Men in Black.
I think she's beautiful. I think she's beautiful. Let me just put it
Yo, I
out
think
there.
she looked like the orange bull from Space Ghost.
Moltar?
Yeah, the boy he said gonna look like. That's
Bro,
what she looked
nah,
like.
that's Gunner.
Yo.
That's forever going to be Gunner.
Yo.
Bro. Nobody takes that title away from him.
Yo. What about you?
Probably Tommy Genesis. She's still kind of like underground now, but I feel like she's like pretty cool artist.
They don't know who that is.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he might just put somebody on.
Yeah, put someone on. Look
Look her up. Look her up. Take a listen.
Look up Tommy Genesis. Oh, Deb Never is really good too. If you haven't heard of her,
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a lot of female artists.
I feel like female artists definitely get underplayed. But
You gotta work as a
Mhm.
female. If you're a female artist, you definitely do gotta work harder to get in the limelight.
yeah.
I think that's not true, but depends on the type of art you're making.
Yes,
Like if you make like typical sexual R&B music, you have an easy lane for you. But if you want to do something different than that, different than what's typically normal for a female artist, you definitely coming in that joint with a little prejudice against you. Before you say what you're about to say, I just wanted to list who my collab was. I would really want to work with 070 Shake, honestly.
yeah.
Her Orion son, even because something, I don't know. I can't think of any like real crazy female rappers. I want to rap with Rico Nasty too. She'd be ripping shit, but like artist wise that I really listen to a lot that I would want to collaborate with, Orion son and 070 Shake both make really nice music and really emotional music, which I'm trying to get my music to be more of.
Mm-hmm. Damn, I don't even remember what I was about to say. You said something about Ryan's son.
Or Willow Smith.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not a fan of Will Smith, but I respect her artistry. She's
Okay,
really
well,
good.
We can shoot it out. Also,
Ooh.
wait, collaboration wise, real quick, I would really want to work with Partisan Fontaine. Partisan Fontaine, if you hear this, hit me up.
I would also want her work with Hope Tala. She's
Who?
very good. Her
Hope
name is
Tala?
Hope Tala.
What
She
kind
made
of like music does she make? Like,
she
what
makes
kind of vibe?
really good she makes really good vibe music, island girl music for sure.
I definitely
Okay.
think it's like almost like UK inspired pop R&B fusion music.
kind of like
Drop.
a dance hall a little bit, you know.
Kind of like slower
like,
dancehall.
like
honestly.
pretty,
dancehall,
like
okay.
pretty dance
I'll
hall.
play something for you later.
Her voice is like so soft. It would go really well. I think it would go really well.
So just to wrap this up, I wanted all of us to talk about our highlighted media of the week. Every week, I just wanted to start talking about something that we like during the week. This might be a song, it might be something we're reading, it might be an artist we're fucking with that we just got introduced to. But I just wanted each of us to have a chance to talk about something that was interesting to us this week, starting with.
Okay, it's me. I actually one of the songs I mentioned earlier, Joji Daylight. It's definitely a vibe song, and also if you listen to the lyrics, it's a little deep. And he's somebody I don't listen to a lot like that, but I do respect the really like hit making songs he got. And me also, I'm trying to put that into like thought when I write songs. Like how can I make it more catchier? How can I make it bop more? and stuff like that. And I feel like he definitely has that down. So if you have a chance, listen to Daylight. You know.
I've been bumping The Plan by Travis Scott. You know, he's pretty mainstream now, so I'm pretty sure everyone has heard this song by now. But I appreciate Ludwig. I don't know how to say his last name. It's very complicated. Ludwig
the guy who did the stuff for the Black Panther.
For the Black Panther soundtrack, he's a really solid. Yeah, he's a pretty solid producer, and I like kind of having more like orchestral, more composed sounds to like music because it like the beat sounds alive. It sounds more varied. I don't like when like the beat is just a loop and then a 808 just smacking every two beats, you know. So I would like to hear more music like that from Travis Scott and even more artists in general in the future.
To follow up with like more orchestral and more composition sounding music, my highlighted media is "To Sleep" by Jacob Collier, by his album Jesse Volume 3. I think it's Jesse. It has a D in it. I think that's John Silent. He made this song from I think 2 to 6 a.m. He composed the entire song. He made all of the background instrumentation, all of the vocals, and did all the mixing and mastering during these 4 hours while he couldn't sleep. It's a song about sleep, and I feel like those are the songs that really get me. Like the songs where you're really trying to show a simple emotion under cascading vocals and under instrumentation. And it just all sounds so great. The project as a whole shows how skilled he is as an artist. And this was the standout. This one in Running Out of Love with Tori Kelly. So if you guys have a chance, I definitely think y'all should look up Jacob Collier and give his music a chance because that man, different.
It's interesting that you guys both said that you guys like wanted more variation and like not just loops inside your music. Because the person I've been listening to a lot this week is like the entire opposite of that entire spectrum. I've been listening to Mike Way of the World a lot this week. Like I've listened to it before, but it's constantly in rotation. Like it's like it replaced like Feet of Clay and like some rap songs for me. Because like Mike is really good and like he really like gets into detail and talks about his grief and like, you know, his mother and like her death and shit like that. And I think that project's really tight.
I definitely feel like in like introspective and more solemn like rap music in general is starting to become more like accepted and I feel like it's kind of I feel like that's like beneficial for the industry. You know, I feel like Juice WRLD definitely helped people be like comfortable with listening to that music. And now we have people like Mike, Earl Sweatshirt, Mavi, even Polo G. They're all like further in that. And now that kind of music is more widely accepted now. I think that's really cool.
You gonna put some respect on Earl's name because he was on that wave before that. He was talking about sad shit before.
No, I know. Yeah, he was. But like Juice WRLD kind of like made it
different,
made it more more normalized and more like
That's
mainstream.
debatable.
Pretty who would you say like did that?
Kid Cudi.
Probably like
Kid
Cudi. Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that.
I definitely do think there will be no Juice WRLD not Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
Period.
There'd be no Juice WRLD wasn't for me.
Okay.
There is no Juice WRLD, so
Yo,
say that.
Wrap this
Cut
up,
it.
bro.
Cut
Wrap it up.
Okay, that's about it for the PT podcast, episode 2 with James Velour, Ayashi, YPC, and AKA. All of our social medias will be in the description. If you're interested in any of the songs we talk about, go check them out. Rewind the podcast. Make sure you write down the names. Y'all got anything you want to say before we go?
I have a project dropping via Birdhouse Recordings on September the 10th, next month on the 10th. So be on the lookout for that.
Thank Ayashi for stepping in with us as another member of the PT podcast. James Velour, what you got to say?
I just want to say the things you do have weight, so make sure you think before you do stuff and just try to be positive out here. I'm also working on more music and stuff like that. I have a couple collabs with Oz and Mercy. I don't have anything with Blake yet, but we're working on that. And, just be on the lookout.
I just want to say that Janet Jackson would outbar Drake, and that's my final
God,
statement.
bro. If you put Drake on a New Jack Swing beat, he wouldn't know what to do.
A lot of people wouldn't know what to do.
He wouldn't know what to do.
Well, I don't know.
You tripping.
Drake.
We're not even gonna talk about that. What do you want to say, YBC? What you got?
I said what I had to say. That's my statement.
That's your ending statement. I just
Yeah.
want to
Can I
say,
touch your hair?
I
Yes,
just
you
dropped this song, "Aim It" on SoundCloud. A throwaway from the album "Immortalized" coming soon next month. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for all of us. The Troupe do big things. If you guys have anything you want to, if you want anything you want us to talk about, make sure to put it in the comments below. Hit one of us up. Check out the website. Check out all of our social medias. Check out all of our SoundClouds, all of our DistroKids, any and all that. That's about it. That's all I want to say. I love y'all. I'm out.